Evet. One second. Heh. Herkese merhaba. Evet. Merhaba arkadaşlar. Nasılsınız? İyi misiniz? Ben Gökberk, Türkçe öğretmeni. Derse hoş geldiniz. Bugünkü dersimizde I will speaking a little Turkish, a little, then we will start our grammar lesson. Bugünkü dersimizde Türkçe'de bazı kelimeler yapacağız. Merhaba Tri, merhaba, nasılsın? So, in today's lesson, we will be doing some example sentences for the genitive case. So we started the genitive case last lesson, if you remember. So we saw how we made sentences in the genitive case. Now we're going to do a quick review, finish up some of the remaining topics in the genitive case, then we're going to move on to the topic of postpositions. But to be specific, spatial postpositions. So spatial postpositions are something like Merhaba Fabiola, nasılsın? So spatial postpositions are basically next to, in front of Merhaba Mr. Vakra. İyiyim, sen nasılsın? So this is going to be another fun lesson. Hopefully you'll like it. Like the last lesson, we're going to do a lot of example sentences. This time we're going to do even more example sentences, okay? So when we start the spatial postpositions topic, the grammar topic for spatial postpositions, I will be showing some images. So in these images, there will be people doing things, different things, activities, like watching something, sleeping, reading, riding on a bicycle, etc. Then we will see how we can make sentences explaining the position or what the action is in that picture. So today we're not going to do action verbs, but even if you don't do it, if you know how to make action verbs, for example, if you know how to use the present continuous in Turkish, it's okay. If you don't know, then we will be making example sentences the way that I explained, okay? Okay, so if you're all excited for today's lesson, let me share my Google Docs. Okay, one second, let me make it bigger so that everyone can see. I think everyone can see, right? Yeah, I think everyone should be able to see. Okay, so today's topic is, first we're going to finish the genitive case that we started. So I want to first review if you remember how to make sentences with the genitive case. So the genitive case was my name, your car, his job, their ... right? Merhaba Amin, nasılsın? So we're going to do a little revision first. I want to see if you remember how you made this. I think most of you know how to make sentences with this, but let's first review it, okay? I'm going to write some example sentences in English, and I want you to translate these sentences. So let's see if we can quickly, easily make these sentences, okay? So by the way, if you need the full detailed explanation of this lesson, you can follow this. I'm going to give a link in the chat box. You can also open this lesson on another tab on your maybe PC or whichever device you're watching on. So I'm not going to go into detail for the genitive case because we already started it and we're going to finish it. We only have in genitive case how to make construction chains, like my mother's sister's car or my father's ... We're going to learn that, and then we're going to move to spatial postpositions, okay? So we're not going to spend too much time anymore because we've been spending 2 lessons on the genitive case. This time I want to finish it off. Okay, so let me first write some example sentences. Let's see if we can make them. Make these English sentences into Turkish. Okay, so first is their house. My sister. Your car. Leila's friend. And finally, let's make another one. Zeynep's dictionary. Okay, so we have house, sister, car, friend, and dictionary. Okay, so let's see if we can make these sentences correct. So if you can make them without any problem, if you don't have any questions, then we will move on to the next part of the genitive case, which is the construction chains. Then after we finish it, we're going to move to the spatial postpositions. Okay, I will be waiting for your answers. So if you don't know these vocabulary, you can tell me, or if you have a dictionary, I would recommend that you try out this dictionary, actually. So there are two dictionaries. And 1 second. So for a dictionary, I would recommend this website, From English to Turkish. Can you? You can't see it? 1 second. You can see it, right? If you can't see it, please write. I'm gonna make these a little bit bigger. I think that will be better. Okay, so their house is, so I mean, let me check on, okay, you can also make it without the personal pronouns, so that's also an option, like the first one, evleri, their house, but you can also say it as Mr. Vakra said it, onların evle, okay, so the ending is a bit problematic. So it's not onların, so ev is the root, right? Ev. So we can say for their house, we can say it like this. Onların evleri, or we can say it as onların evi. So if you say onların evleri, it's like each one of them has one house. But if you say onların evi, that means they all belong to one house. Okay? Onların evi or onların evleri. Okay, for the second one, my sister, kız kardeşim, Amin said it. Anyone else? And Gahar also said it. Benim kız kardeşim or kız kardeşim. And okay, let me check it. Also three on kız kardeşim. Okay, so let's write that one. You can say benim kız kardeşim. So house is ev. Sister is kız kardeş. Okay. Alright. So your car. Your car in Turkish is araba, right? So the first one is from Gahar. Senin araban. Anyone else? Mr. Vakra. Araban or senin araban. As you know, we can omit the personal pronoun in Turkish because we have person markers, right? So for this one, Doren, senin araba. So araba is the root, right? But when we say your car, we have to just add the n, araban. Arabanın, the n is the genitive case. So it's different. Genitive case is for was the personal pronoun, the subject of. So the noun gets the possessive suffix. So if you don't remember, you can go to the link that I posted in the chat box. In the chat box, there's a lesson on genitive case and possessive suffix. I had a table there on the top of the page. You have to look at the possessive suffix chart. It says Turkish possessive suffix. So you have to look at that, okay? So it's not senin arabanın. If you say senin arabanın, it means your cars, ... So it's going to be used for the chain, construction chains, okay? So the correct version is senin araban with the N. Okay. So anyone else? 3. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, I also saw that you wrote it wrong. Sorry about that. Senin araban. Arabanın, as I mentioned, is the "ın" suffix is the genitive case suffix, which is used for your cars, ... We're gonna see that in a moment. Don't worry. Okay, so let's also write araba is car, right? And for this one, Leila's friend. Let me check. Onların evi. Okay. Mr. Vakra. Leyla'nın arkadaş. Okay, you forgot to add the possessive suffix. Arkadaş, arkadaşı. His, her, or Leila's friend. Okay, don't forget the possessive suffix. Doreen, Leyna'nın arkadaşı. Güzel. 3, Leyna'nın arkadaşı. Okay, no one else. So let's also write that. Leyla'nın arkadaşı. So Leyla is a proper noun. So we have to put an apostrophe, right? Before the genitive case. So we have to separate it with the apostrophe. Okay, the last one, arkadaş also is friend. Okay, let's look at the dictionary. So anyone did the dictionary? Let me check. Onlar... Mr. Vakra. Zeynep'in... Okay, so sözlük is a special word here. So why is sözlük a special word? Because we have something called consonant assimilation. So if a word... So let me write the consonant assimilation. Sözlük first side. Sözlük. So consonant assimilation means the changing of the consonant sound to another sound. The reason for this is because we have to soften the sound in order to fit with the next suffix. So, for example, if a word ends with one of these consonant letters, so it's an easy way to remember is the fıstıkçı şahap rule. Maybe some of you know this. So all the consonant letters in the phrase fıstıkçı şahap, they are all letters that are affected from consonant assimilation. So they change, okay? And K, for example, changes to the G or the soft G. So the K is one of the problematic sounds. Not problematic, but interesting sounds in Turkish. So whenever a suffix that starts with a vowel, like the possessive suffix, comes after a word that ends with one of these, especially the K sound, they change to certain letters. I will explain the other letters later on, but the K letter changes to the G or the soft G. Okay, so sözlük becomes Zeynep'in. So sözlük changes to a soft G. Then according to vowel harmony, we add the same vowel. So Ü sound is the same, and we have to add another Ü sound. Sözlüğü. Okay? Zeynep'in sözlüğü. Okay, so sözlük, Mr. Vakra, I would recommend that you check out this lesson later on. I don't have much time to focus on this lesson, but I explain the consonant assimilation. Anyone who has a problem with changing the letters, I explain it in this lesson. You can also watch it from the YouTube lesson, my YouTube channel, but it's a lot easier to follow it from this one because it's more orderly, okay? Okay, so do you have any other questions that you don't understand with what we learned with the genitive case so far? Are there any problems, for example, with the possessive suffix, the changing of the letters or the ordering? Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, let me know before I move on. Let me drink a little water. I think no one has any questions. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of our genitive case and possessive suffix. So another way for us to use the genitive case is, for example, if you want to make a sentence like this, let's see. This is called genitive possessive construction chains. Let me make this into not a normal tab, but a heading. So construction chain. So for example, let me show you one way to make a construction chain. So what I mean by construction chains is my sister's friend's wedding, or your brother's car's, your brother's car's key. I may have made a mistake in the English section, but does anyone know how to make genitive construction chains? 1 second, Mr. Vakra, you said something. Let me check. Yeah. In English, don't we write the first letter capital in Turkish language? Yeah. We also write it the first letter as in capital, but even if it's a proper name or not, we always make the first letter a capital letter. By the way, did I make it incorrect? Yeah, Zeynep is a capital, but sözlük is not the first part of the sentence, right? It's the second word, so we don't have to make it a capital letter. Okay, let me go back. So does anyone know how to make these sentences? Do you know the rules for making these sentences into Turkish? So the first thing that we have to follow is we make the sentences into a chain by using the genitive case at the end of a possessive suffix. So for example, okay, so Dorin, kız kardeşimin arkadaşının doğum günü. Okay, doğumu. So almost correct, Dorin, almost correct. So I'm gonna make it more simpler. So my sister is kız kardeşim. So if you want to say my sister's friend, we say kız kardeşimin arkadaşı, right? Can you see it, Amin? Let me change it a little. Let me make it a bit bigger. 1 second. If you cannot see it, by the way, let me know. Okay, if you want to say kız kardeşim, my sister, right? This is the first one. It means my sister. If you say kız kardeşimin arkadaşı, it's my sister's friend. Okay, so if you want to say kız kardeşimin, so if you want to say my sister's friend's wedding, let's see what we do. So actually, let's change the order. I think the order is not right. Let's make it like this better. Okay, so let's look at the suffixes. So benim kız kardeşim. And we say benim. Let's make it like this. Benim kız kardeşim. And we have an in. Okay, so here you can see that we added the genitive case. Okay, so after kız kardeşim, we need to make it into a chain. So in order to make it into a chain, we add the genitive case at the end of this part. So that's why kız kardeşim becomes the subject this time instead of the object, okay? So kız kardeşimin arkadaşı. So arkadaş has the possessive suffix this time. So it just basically goes on and on and on and on into an infinite loop. So that is basically how we make this. So if we want to say my sister's friend's wedding, let me write that. Oops, that's 1 second. Okay, I think everyone can see it, right? My sister's friend's wedding. Then we say benim kız kardeşimin arkadaşı. So it's not double possessives actually, Gohar. So it's not double possessives. So the genitive, there are certain suffixes we add for the genitive case and certain suffixes we add for the possessive. So the genitive case suffixes is basically these suffixes. 1 second, let me make more room. Can everyone see it? So ben becomes benim, sen becomes senin, o becomes onun, and sen o, when you say biz becomes bizim, siz becomes sizin, onlar becomes onların. Ben, sen, o, biz, siz, onlar. So if you look at the ending of all of them, so there are only two variations basically. Okay, so this is the genitive case, okay? Not the possessive. So the genitive case is basically im, in. And sometimes for the o, we have a buffer letter, so it's a bit special because o is a vowel pronoun, a vowel ending personal pronouns. We have to add the buffer letter, but it's still the same. It doesn't really change. It's basically in for most of them. Just the ben is in. So in. So we add it at the end of the possessive to make that possessive into a subject. So it becomes the genitive case this time. As you can see here, kız kardeşim is normally ending in a possessive suffix. The im is the possessive here, okay? So don't mix it with the genitive case for the im. Actually, let me show you the chart. 1 second. So you probably forgot how the chart was. Okay. So can you see the charts? So here, as you can see, all the personal pronouns are already have the genitive case. Okay, so in. But this part, this section that says for consonants, for vowels, these are the possessive suffixes. Okay, so for the benim, for my, we have to add these suffixes for nouns that end in a consonant and this for nouns that end in a vowel. So it resembles, this one resembles this one, but actually they're not the same, okay? So they are different. They look the same, but one is the genitive case and the other is the possessive suffix, okay? So we basically have to add according to that, okay? So let me share this time. 1 second. Let me just drink a little water again, sorry. My throat hurts a little. Okay, so let's get back to the sentence. So if you want to say, my sister's friend's wedding. So first we add the personal pronoun with the genitive case. Okay, so kardeşim this is normally the possessive suffix, right? But when we want to make this into the subject of the sentence, we add this time the genitive case. This one. Okay, so this time actually it's like this. Benim kız kardeşimin becomes the genitive case, the subject. So arkadaş here receives the possessive suffix. So basically this is it. After a certain part, we just add the genitive case, then follow the same structure, genitive, possessive on the noun, genitive, possessive on the noun, and we continue. But normally, we don't really make it this long. This is basically the longest that you will see in a sentence in Turkish. So if you make it too long, for example, if you were to make it like, one second, benim kız kardeşimin arkadaşının ablasının amcasının arabası. So this is too much. We can make it, it's grammatically correct, but this is too much. We don't really make something like this in Turkish. If you make it something like this, it doesn't sound natural. It's not a pretty sentence. It sounds a bit stupid. If you can make it, it's not incorrect, but don't make it like this, okay? Okay, so we had another sentence. Your brother's car keys. Your brother's car's key. Okay, let's make it like this instead. So how would we make this one then? Your brother's car key? Your brother's car's key. Okay, let's make it like this. It's okay, Alon, don't worry. It's okay. I mean, even if you can't, even if you didn't have time, you can still watch the recording later, okay? Don't worry about that. Okay, so following the rule that I mentioned, can you try to guess, how we can make this sentence? Can you tell me how this sentence can be correctly made? Let's see if you can make this sentence. So this is not the best sentence that you can see, but it's still grammatically correct in a way, and you can still make a genitive possessive construction change. So let's see if you can correctly make it. I want to see how we can make this sentence. Then we're gonna see if it's right or wrong. Okay. By the way, maybe I will have some presents for people who will be active in the lesson. So if you can actively answer my questions, especially for the one that will come after this time, we're going to start spatial postpositions. So if you can make a lot of sentences for me, then I will give you a present maybe. Okay, so I think we have another answer. So first one, senin abinin arabası. Okay, so almost correct. So abi, kardeş, you can say abi is for big brother. Kardeş can be used for both your sister and your brother who are younger than you or who are maybe at the same age as you. So it's okay. Okay, so senin kardeşinin arabanın. Okay, so there's a little mistake here again. Okay, so along. Senin kardeşinin arabasının anahtarı. So along, I think you know a little bit better Turkish than some of the students I have here on the chat box on the live lesson, but it's okay. Everyone will reach a certain level. So abin. Abin is, your big brother, right? So the correct answer for this is Along's answer. Senin kardeşinin arabasının anahtarı. Okay, so let's examine. So first, your brother. Senin. We can make this optional. B. Okay, so your brother. Okay, your brother is senin abin. If you want to say your brother's car, and it's similar. Senin abi. Oops, let's make it like the abi. So it becomes not abin in, but abinin. Okay? So the in here is the genitive case. So this was the possessive suffix, but now that we made this the subject, it receives the genitive case after we finish adding the possessive suffix. Senin abinin arabası. Okay, so araba ends in a vowel letter, so we have to add the buffer letter for the your possessive suffix. Okay. Anyone? Any questions? Okay, so 3. Let me also take a look at you. Kardeşinin arabasının anahtarı. Evet, güzel. Yes, actually, abi is more modern version of the word ağabey. So in the earlier times, maybe in the Ottoman period, in the old ancient Turks, instead of using abi, they used ağabey. So ağabey, I think it's a. Let me check if it's originally. Yes, it's an original Turkish word. So it's not derived, or it's not a loan word from another language. So ağabey means big brother, or it can also mean a male person that you respect. It used to mean like that, but now it mostly means like a big brother. So in Turkish we use abi right now, but sometimes they also use ağabey. Ağabey nasılsın abi? But most maybe in the rural areas of Turkey. Okay. Don't worry about it. So this time let's continue. So senin abinin arabası. So let's add your brother's car's key. Oops, 1 second. Your brother's car's key. So let me just copy it. So we basically just copy it. Arabası. We add this time, the genitive case again. Okay, arabasının anahtar. Actually, let's make it into the second line. Anahtarı. Okay, again, you can see that because we changed the subject, we added the genitive case at the end of arabasının. So this is the rule, basically, guys. So we add the genitive case whenever we change the subject and whenever we make the construction chain longer, okay? So this is the rule. So we continue on as long as you want, but like I mentioned, this should be the limit. If you make something even longer than this one, I mean, it's going to be pretty bad. So I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. Any questions? Anything you don't understand? If not, then let me write some example sentences. And then let's see if we can correctly make them. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so let's write Ahmet's sister's new car. This is the first one. Her father's old house. Another one. My mother's sister's job. And another one, last one. Let's see. Gökberg's Turkish YouTube channel. Okay, let's see if we can make translate these sentences into Turkish. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a little break while waiting for your answers. I had a really long day today. I'm attending Turkish dictation course. So I also speak nonstop for 3 hours sometimes. So sometimes it becomes really difficult for me to keep on speaking. Okay, let me check your answers. So Ahmet's sister's new car. Okay, so Doreen. Ahmet'in kız kardeşinin yeni arabası. Güzel. Kız kardeşi. Okay, so you forgot to add the genitive case along after kardeşi. Kardeşi. Oh yeah, kardeşin. You put the wrong letter. So kardeşinin. Okay. So Ahmet'in ablasının yeni arabası. Güzel, Trish. Ahmet'in kız kardeşinin yeni araba. Okay, so you forgot to add the possessive at the last part. Arabası. Okay. So let's first write this one. I'm going to write it underneath. Ahmet'in kız kardeşi. Or you can say abla. Well, let's first write it with the kız kardeş. Kız kardeşinin yeni arabası. You can also say Ahmet'in ablasının yeni arabası. Okay. So this is one way. Oops. Don't forget to look at the suffixes that we added, okay? Also, Mr. Bakra. Ablasının yeni arabası. Güzel. So let's look at the second one. Let me check the second one. Your father's old house. Okay, so how do we make your father? Father is baba, right? How do we say your father? So another mistake here. Babanın. So babanın and so baba, your father. So there's a mistake here, right? Let's see if anyone can make it. Okay, so there's almost a correct version. Senin baba, onun babanın. One second, let's see if. Oh yeah, my mistake. Why did I say your? Yeah, my mind stopped actually. So babanın is correct actually. Sorry about that, Trish. Sorry about that, Dorin. So babasının is his or her father. For your father, we say babanın, right? Sorry about that, guys. So the correct version is senin babanın. But we can make senin optional, right? So babanın, your father's eski evi. Okay? Babanın eski evi. Okay, let me check it. Babanın eski evi. Güzel. Okay. Not babasının. Yeah. Be careful with the suffix. Now, babasının is his or her father's. Okay, Gohar. Be careful about that. So, babanın eski evi. And this one, Trish, is correct. Okay, let's look at the third one. My mother's sister's job. Anyone? Ahmet? Nope, not that one. Benim annemin kız kardeşinin mesleği. Okay, meslek, as I mentioned, ends with the K sound. So it is affected from consonant assimilation. So not the G, but the soft G. I think you probably don't have the soft G letter. That's why you just wrote it with the G, but it's soft G. Don't worry about that. So benim annemin kız kardeşinin işi. Okay, işi is also correct. Meslek, iş is basically the same. And Trish, annemin kız kardeşinin işi. Güzel. Let's also write that. Well, we can write it like this. Benim annemin kız kardeşinin işi or mesleği. This is one way to say it. Okay, so let's look at the last one. Gökberk's Turkish YouTube channel. This one was a bit maybe difficult, but it's okay. I mean, there's a compound word, so not a genitive case, but a compound, possessive compound. That's a different topic, but let's see if anyone got it right. I think someone wrote it right. along. Gökberk'in Türkçe YouTube kanalı. Okay, güzel. It's okay, Dorian. Don't worry about it. So Mr. Vakra, by the way, good job. Annemin ablası. Annemin ablası. My mother's sister. Okay, so you forgot to add the possessive before the genitive. So you have to always follow the same rule. First, start from the basics. My mother, benim annem. So my mother's sister, benim annemin ablası. My mother's sister's job, benim annemin ablasının işi. So you have to follow that structure. You always have to add the certain suffixes, certain genitive and possessive suffix, okay? Okay, so let's write this sentence. Gökberk'in Türkçe YouTube kanalı. Okay, so Türkçe YouTube kanalı is actually a possessive compound. A possessive compound is a bit different from genitive possessive constructions. For example, one second. What? Türkçe öğretmeni. So this is a Turkish teacher, right? Türkçe öğretmeni. This is a possessive compound. As you can see, we don't have a genitive case at Turkish. If you were to write it like this, oops, one second, let me write on the next page. If you were to write it like this, Türkçenin öğretmeni, it would be Turkish, the teacher of Turkish, or Turkish teacher. It doesn't make sense because it's already a special noun. So Türkçe öğretmeni. Okay. Another answer from Mr. Vakra. Good job. Gökberk'in Türkçe. YouTube kanal. So kanal, as I mentioned, YouTube kanalı is a possessive compound. So you cannot YouTube'un kanalı. You cannot just say YouTube'un kanalı. Possessive compounds is another lesson that we can do maybe later on. So basically the rule is when we want to say like a special name for special something like Turkish YouTube channel, we don't add the genitive case, we just add the possessive suffix at the end of the structure. So that's the rule. So if you were to say Türkçenin öğretmeni, the teacher of Turkish, it becomes something like that. It doesn't become Turkish teacher. For example, police evi is police house. If you say polisin evi, oops, not like that, but polisin evi becomes the house of the police. So it's completely different. We have to follow certain rules when we're making possessive compounds. Actually, if you're interested, I have a lesson on possessive compounds in one of my premium video lessons. So if you're interested in learning more about this in more detail with more examples and exercises, you can check it out, okay? Basically, just go to the website, turkishaholic.com, and you can learn more at it in the user manual section. I don't want to spend more time explaining it, but you can learn more about it. Or if you were interested, you can simply write a message to me, okay? One second. So I'll just give you the link to the user manual. If anyone is interested, you can basically read all about it there. It's this page. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic. So this is spatial postpositions. So we're already at the middle of our lesson. So this will be a brief introduction to spatial postpositions, okay? So what are spatial postpositions? One second. So spatial means about space, about a certain position of something in a certain place, okay? So basically, if you want to say the car is next to the park or the cat is next to the house. So this here, I'm not using any verbs. but later on we can add verbs. We're going to add verbs, don't worry. We have to use the same structure that we used with genitive case and the possessive suffix, okay? So let me share some of the words. 1 second. What is it? Okay. So we have these words basically. These are nouns. Right now they don't have any suffix added to them. So for example, iç means in, üst, on, yukarı is up, above, aşağı, down, alt, under, dış, outside, ön, in front, arka, behind, back, yan, beside, next to, yakın, near, karşı, opposite, ara, between. So, I mean, we won't have much time explaining these sentences. So we're going to do another part 2 of this lesson, hopefully next week, if there are no issues with me. And I will explain it in even more detail. But let me first explain how we make sentences. So let me write a sentence. This is the sentence. 1 second. So the ball is under the car. Oops. Actually, let's make it. By the way, if you want to see this chart, please visit this web page. You can see the chart there, this chart. Okay. I won't be able to show 2 screens at the same time because of the limitations to this program. But you can basically go to the link that I shared, open it in a new tab, so that you can see the chart and how to make these sentences. Okay. So the ball is under the car. So under in Turkish is alt, but we have to follow a certain rule when we are making such sentences. So we have to add the genitive case, the possessive suffix. We have to follow this rule when we're making such sentence. Okay, so it's basically like this. Why is it gray? Let me change it. Oops, 1 second. Top is ball. Why is it giving me too many single remove space? Okay, sorry about that. Top is so under is alt, car, araba is car. Okay, so we don't say iyi akşamlar Şerif. We don't say araba, top, alt. It's not correct. So we have to add certain suffixes. Not araba, top, araba, alt. The ball, top, araba, car, alt. As you can see, the order is a bit different. So in English, we put the complement at the end. Here, it's at the middle, right? Because subject, verb, object. That's the rule. Here, the object is the alt, which is under. So top, arabanın altı. So do you know the locative case? So the locative case in Turkish is for at, in, on. This is basically the da suffix, right? The da, sometimes it's the te, ta, if it's affected from consonant assimilation. So we have to first use the genitive case, the possessive suffix, and the locative suffix. So we have to follow this rule. So araba is here the possessor because it's under the car. It becomes the possessor. The possessor uses the genitive case. So, oops, genitive case. This is the possessive suffix. So altı has a buffer letter. So this is a buffer letter. Why do we use a buffer letter after altı? No, it's not alt. It's not the number 6. Alt is under. Alt. This is the possessive suffix, the buffer letter before we add the locative case. So altı and da. So let's make it like this. So top arabanın altında. So arabanın altı means under the car. Arabanın altında means it is under the car. So the arabanın altı is the under the bottom of the car. Arabanın altında is it is under the car. Okay? So top. Where is the ball? Top nerede? Top nerede? Top. Where is the ball? Top nerede? Top arabanın altında. So this is the rule. Okay? We first put what we are looking for, then we describe where the ball is. Okay? That's the basic rule. If you don't understand it, please let me know. But basically, we use the genitive, the possessive, and finally the locative case. And sometimes we may use the buffer letter before the locative case if the possessive suffix ends in a vowel letter. Most of the time it ends in a vowel letter, so we have to use the buffer letter. Okay, so let's write a few more sentences. Any questions? If you have any questions, I'm checking the chat box from time to time, but I'm responding, so don't worry. So let's say the cat is next to the house. Okay, so let me write next to, but without adding the suffix. So I will want you to add yan. Cat is kedi, house is ev. Okay, so how do we make this sentence? So let's see if we can make the sentence correctly. I'm going to rest my vocal cords. Okay, a question from Gohar. 1 second. If I say topu, would it be incorrect? So topu is, then it will become like a accusative case. Topu arabanın altına koydum. For example, this time is a bit more complex sentence. It becomes, I put the ball underneath the car. So we don't add the suffix for the top. We explain where it is and where it's under. Okay? So this is a basically different structure. It's the accusative case, basically using for direct object. So that's a completely different topic. Okay. So let's see. Kedi evin yanında. Güzel. Yeah, the definite article, right? To do, right? Basically the definite article. So the definite article or basically the direct object of a sentence. It basically changes according to what you say. It's a more complex structure. Kedi yanında ev. Okay. So what was the order first? Kedi, subject, object, verb. Subject, verb, object. We don't have a verb here, so you have to first where it's next to. It's next to the house. So you just have to change the position of yanında and ev. Also, Andreas, you have to put evin yanında. Evin. So like this one, right? Kedi evin yanında. Kedi evinin yanında. Doreen is basically his house. So yeah, it's not incorrect. The cat is next to his house or her house. That is also correct. Kedi evin yanında. Okay, good. It's okay, Doreen. Don't worry. Okay, so let's write another sentence. Why is it so small? The dog is on top of the Big. Big truck. Let's make this sentence this time. Well, let me write it, by the way. Kedi evin yanında. Okay, so 1 second. Dog is köpek on top. Üst. Big is, büyük, and truck is kamyon. Okay, let's see. Let's see if you guys can make this sentence. So after this one, I will want you to open that link I posted on another tab. I'm going to put a picture and I'm going to see if we can make some sentences looking at the picture. I'm going to write if they're correct or not. Okay, along. Not along. Yeah, along. Köpek büyük kamyonun üstünde. Güzel. Büyük kamyonun, don't forget kamyonun tree. Okay? Okay, there's a little mistake here, Şerif. Kamyonun. So köpek büyük kamyonun. You add the locative case after adding the possessive suffix after üst, üstünde. So you put kamyonun üstünde. So not kamyonunda üstünde. So put the locative case at the end here all the time, okay? Okay. Köpek büyük kamyonun üstünde. Okay, güzel. So, let's do some fun games. 1 second. Okay, let's look at this picture. I'm going to open a picture. I will want you to look at it. And 1 second, question. Kamyon, let me check if it's actually... Yes, it's from French. Camion. Yeah, correct. It's from French. We have a lot of words from French, from Persian, maybe Arabic. So camion is basically the French for camion. I don't know how it's pronounced because I don't know French. Okay, let me share another screen. 1 second. I'm going to share a picture with you. 1 second. Pencere. Okay. Oops, sorry. Did I close it? Okay. So I would like that you look at this picture. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Sorry. I can't see how it looks because when I share this, it blocks my page. So I want you to look at this picture. So you can use verbs if you like. For example, you can use he's sleeping or under or he's eating. If you know how to use it, if you don't know, just basically try to make basic sentences. The cat is on top of the chair. The dog is under the table. The lamp is behind the sofa. The toy is on top, ... Okay? So yeah, by the way, same pronunciation both in French and Turkish. Yeah, only different spelling, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Then I'm going to check your sentence. If there's any mistake, I will let you know. Okay, so this is the final exercise. Okay. So one example. Köpek masanın altında. Güzel. Kedi koltuğun üstünde. Güzel, Doreen. Okay, any more examples? You can look at, if you have a dictionary, you can use a dictionary to look up the meanings of the words. So do you know how to say, for example, the table is between the chair and the sofa, maybe something like that. Kedi sandalyenin üstünde. Güzel tree. So I actually have a lesson on prepositions of place on the website, as I mentioned before. I have a lot of exercises. So you can check them out if you need more practice. Just visit the Turkishaholic website. I especially recommend the premium courses if you have, if you would like to invest more time into learning Turkish. Okay. So köpek masanın altında. Güzel. Along vazo masanın üstünde. Güzel. Any more? Any more? How about the toys, the pillows, the lamp, the pictures on the wall, the window, the chimney? Teddy masanın üzerinde. So Teddy, we can say something like, one second. So teddy bear, we can say, for teddy bear, we can say oyuncak ayı, if you're interested. Oyuncak ayı masanın üzerinde. What about this one? Robot masanın it's okay, Alok. So robot masanın masa ve koltuğun arasında. So we can say robot masa ve koltuğun arasında. Let me write it for you, one second. Robot masa ve one second. So robot masa ve koltuğun arasında. We can say it like that. Any more examples? If you don't know, one way to know if you're right or wrong, even after the lesson, even after this live lesson is finished, it's going to finish in a few minutes, you can write your sentences. You can look at this picture again while watching the video. You can stop the video, look at the sentences, look at the picture, and write me some example sentences. Okay, guys? Friends, girls, ladies? So practice makes everything perfect. So this is one way to practice it. I want to practice this lesson more, hopefully on the upcoming lesson. So we just basically started this lesson. On our next live lesson, next Sunday, same time, today, next week, I want to do more examples for the prepositions of place, basis, spatial postpositions in Turkish, okay? Okay, let me check out. Şerif, şemsiye koçun üzerinde. Koç. Koç, you mean? Şemsiye. Where is the şemsiye, by the way? Kanepe, kanepe, not koç. Kanepenin üzerinde. Okay? So, kedi koltuğun üstünde oturuyor. Andreas, güzel, oturuyor. So, guys, I think we have reached our time limit. I have to cut here because this is the free version of StreamYard and they limit the live sessions. If I don't limit it, I won't be able to do another live lesson. It will be limited, okay? There's a time limit, basically. Thank you, everyone. Today, we had more people than last week. Hopefully, with every live lesson, there will be more people. There will be maybe 20, 30, 40, then 100, 200. So I did say that I was going to give a present, but I didn't prepare it yet. Sorry, I forgot how. I didn't have time to prepare it, but I will prepare it for the next lesson. Don't worry. So for the next lesson, hopefully you will receive some really interesting prizes, and we're gonna do a really interesting game. I hope we will also have fun in that lesson too. I hope you had fun in this lesson too. I had fun. It was a nice lesson. And thank you again for giving me your time and joining this lesson. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tri, Along, Makra, Mr. Vakra, Andreas, Sherif, Dorian. Anyone else? Anyone else I forgot their name mentioned? So basically, everyone, thank you again for today. hopefully next week, same time, I will see you again. Okay? Take care until then. Be sure to check out other video lessons on the YouTube channel. Okay? Görüşürüz. Görüşürüz arkadaşlar. İyi akşamlar.